We'll take his case up later then. So let's go ahead and get started. Who do I have first here in detention? Ma'am, what's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
Aspen Joseph is my name on my birth certificate. I would like to change it one day, but that is what it says.
Okay, Aspen Joseph. So, Miss Joseph, this is Mr. Regier. Do you have the case number on this one?
One moment, Your Honor. Based off my record, Your Honor, it appears to be 25 CR 081.
081. Okay. And so Miss Joseph is here today by Zoom, and all of these first appearances are going to be by Zoom today. Mr. Joe Regier is here for the state. So, Miss Joseph, first of all, I want to make sure you understand what you are charged with. Do you have the charging document there in front of you?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, I'm going to go through that complaint with you so you will understand exactly what you're charged with.
Okay,
And
thank
then
you.
we'll talk about whether you need an attorney and bail, okay?
Okay, thank you. And
Okay.
honestly, I wouldn't want to do bail if it costs my family any money. I'd rather do time because then I know that my family can save their money. I definitely don't want to be a burden on my family for sure.
All right. Well, we'll get to that issue pretty quick. Okay, so it looks like there are 4 counts on this complaint, and all of them were alleged to have occurred on February 21st of 2025. So count 1 alleges that you did without authority enter into or remain in a dwelling that was a house at 9920 Northwest 10th Street in Towanda, Kansas, in which there was a person, Calvin Varner or Jared Greenwood, with the intent to commit a felony, theft, or sexually motivated crime therein. This is a violation of KSA 215807B1 C2A. It's called aggravated burglary. It's a level 4 person felony. Count 2, that you did unlawfully and knowingly by means of fire explosive damage property, which is not a dwelling. In this case, it was clothing in which another person had an interest without consent of that person, and this was a TerraVarner. This is a violation of 215812A1A. It's called
Did I
arson.
burn someone's clothes on fire?
Yeah, now just listen.
Okay.
I'm not asking you if you did it. I'm
Okay,
just
okay.
telling you what you're charged with, okay?
Okay, thank you.
This is called arson, a level 7 non-person felony. Count 3, that you did unlawfully damage, deface, or substantially impair the use of property, in this case, a toilet, the floor, the wall, and a window, with intent to injure or defraud an insurer or lien holder, in this case it was Calvin Varner, damage being a total value of at least $1,000 but less than $25,000. This is a violation of 215813A2B2. It's called criminal damage to property, and in this case it is a level 9 non-person felony crime. And count 4, that you did unlawfully obtain or exert unauthorized control over property or services, and in this case it was clothes and U.S. currency, with the intent to permanently deprive the owner, a TerraVarner, of the possession, use, or benefit of the property or services valued at less than $1,500. Violation KSA 215801A1B4. This is called theft. It's a Class B non-person misdemeanor crime. Now, do you understand what you're charged with in all 4 counts?
I do understand, and
okay, and I'm not asking you if you agree, just if you understand what you're charged with.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now, just for your information, you've got 3 felonies and 1 misdemeanor. The misdemeanor, if you're convicted
2 felonies and 1 misdemeanor.
3 felonies, 1 misdemeanor.
3 felonies, 1 misdemeanor?
Yes.
That is crazy.
3 felonies, 1 misdemeanor. The misdemeanor crime is a Class A. If you're convicted of that, the maximum penalty is 1 year in jail. But on the felonies, a level 4 felony, level 4, carries, depending on where you fall in the sentencing range, anywhere from a minimum of 38 months up to a maximum of 172 months in prison.
How many years is that max?
172 months. Okay, now on level 2, which is a level 7, and count 2, which is a level 7 non-person.
That's like a lot of years, right?
Mhm.
That's like 15 years.
The minimum on that one is 11 months in prison, and the maximum is 34. And on count 3, which is a level 9 non-person, level 9, that has a minimum of 5 months in prison, the maximum up to 17 months. And that all depends on where you fall on this sentencing grid.
Okay, let's do the process.
So let's talk a little bit about attorneys. Are you going to hire an attorney?
My dad, he has an attorney that he goes through, and I'd like to use his attorney.
Okay. Have you had a chance to talk with this person yet?
No, because I'm just now detoxing from being roofied, so.
Okay. Well, most certainly get in touch with that attorney just as soon as you can. If you can't afford an attorney and you need
Been
one,
able to make a phone call either.
okay. If you can't afford an attorney and you would like, you can apply for court-appointed counsel. If you qualify for court-appointed counsel, I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. You may be required to repay some or all of the cost of that representation, but that's something that's determined at a hearing at a later date. So keep that in mind as you go forward. Now, Mr. Regier, what is the state's request with regard to bail bond in this case?
Your Honor, besides all standard conditions with special emphasis on no contact with the victim or the property, as well as SCRAM monitoring based off of the defendant's statements on the record today, the state is recommending $7,500 cash or surety. This is a case where, pursuant to page 2 of the affidavit, there appears to be an allegation of damage to multiple windows and items scattered in front of the garage of attached to the residence, as well as burnt items in front of the garage, as well as law enforcement find the residence ransacked in disarray, as well as damage done to a toilet, causing flooding and damage to multiple levels and areas within the home. It would also appear that the defendant is alleged to have been found by law enforcement lying on the floor inside the residence and making comments of burning down the house and starting over, as well as suggesting that it was the end
My
of the
brain, since I
world.
was drugged, I was thinking of Carrie Underwood, the song where she's like, just burn down the house and start over.
Honey, don't make statements on the record, okay? Because your attorney, when you get an attorney, he'll discuss with you how to proceed. And I'm sure he or she wouldn't want you making statements on the record. Okay.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure that's okay because I did feel like I got roofied and I'm just telling the truth. So honestly, if my attorney doesn't want me to be truthful, why would I want to be a part of any system that is about lying? Is this true? Is our system about lying or telling the truth?
Okay. Ma'am, just speak only when I ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Regier.
To continue, Your Honor, there are allegations that the defendant was located, suggesting that it was the end of the world, as well as admitting to burning plastic at the residence and damaging windows. Therefore, based off of the particular facts of this case, the state does respectfully submit that $7,500 cash or surety, subject to all conditions iterated on the record, is highly appropriate.
Okay. Do you have any information about her criminal history, about her residence, that type of thing?
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, based off of my notes, it would appear that this is a defendant with little to no prior conviction history. However, this also appears to be a defendant with with no fixed abode of residence, if any. Therefore, the state does consider her a significant flight risk.
Okay. Okay, now, Miss Joseph, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Where do you reside?
Well, right now I'm currently getting my address changed. So I moved in with my mom and her boyfriend because it was kind of a decision. Should I move with my mom and my boyfriend, my cousin and her husband, or
Okay.
my
What
friend
city? What city is that?
Wichita, Kansas?
In
All the
Wichita.
places are in Wichita, Kansas. So during this phase, I had 4 different places I could have stayed with, but I needed to get a P.O. box because I was like, okay, I'm not really sure where I'm going to
Okay,
go.
really all I want to know is the city. Have you lived in the Wichita area your whole life, or is this something new?
My whole entire life, I've lived in Wichita in the same areas. So
Okay, okay. And the state's asking for 7,500 in cash or surety. Do you think that's too high, too low? How do you feel about that bond?
$7,000.
7,500, you would contact a bondsman and pay a portion of that.
It is pretty high, I would feel like, because technically I've been saving up and working every day of my life, and I just spent all my money on the car that I just drove for the first time that I just wrecked, and I was stranded in the middle of the nowhere, and that's why I had to go to that house anyways. So it's
Okay. So if I put your bond at say 5,000 cash or surety, do you think you might be able to make that or contact some family members?
how much time is it? Because if it's just staying in a room and no one's gonna hurt me, as long as you guys promise not to hurt me and I can trust to live with you guys, I will live with you guys. But my mom also told me that they charged her $2,000 for one time when she was in jail. So I just don't,
Okay.
I'd rather
Well,
go
I
out.
don't know what kind of a deal you might make with a bondsman, but
Okay.
for right now, I'm going to set your bond at 5,000 cash or surety. Obviously, if you make bond, I'm ordering that you have no contact with the victims in this case, the listed victims. Don't go back to that property.
Okay.
Don't make phone calls to them. Try to contact them through any type of media, social media, or anything. And I think a scram is probably a good idea for you, considering some of the history you've told today. So I'll order that as well.
What is the scram?
It's a unit that monitors alcohol and
I don't drink alcohol at all.
Mr. Regier,
I've never drank
what?
alcohol. I'm
Oh,
anti-alcohol and I think it should be banned, actually. I'm
okay,
pro banning
okay. Thank
alcohol.
you for that information, Mr. Regier. What else does the scram do besides drugs and alcohol?
Okay. Okay, maybe drugs, but alcohol, that one's lame, bro.
Okay, okay.
That's just me though.
Your Honor, that is the state's primary purpose of a scram monitoring device. If the court has certain concerns about that, the state may respectfully amend its earlier recommendation to include GPS monitoring. If the court has certain concerns under the circumstances.
No, that's fine. Let's go with the scram, no contact. Obviously, no other violations of the law
Would be
while you're.
GPS tracked because I don't mind all my family.
No, I didn't, ma'am. I didn't order GPS on this.
Okay.
I ordered the scram, 5,000 cash or surety, no contact with victims or the property, no other crimes committed during the time you're out on bond. Most certainly stay in contact with your attorney, whoever that is. The next setting on this, Miss Amy, will be.
It'll be before Judge Hart on April 21st at 2:30 by Zoom.
Okay, April 21st, 2:30. It will be by Zoom. And Miss Joseph, if you decide that you're not going to hire the attorney that you made reference to, then you can always fill out the form requesting court-appointed counsel, and we'll take a look at that, okay? Okay, let's go on to the next case.
And Judge, I will say that Mr. Stangy, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. I think he is here on that 25 CR5